DK Audio presents Beyond Bars, Rejoining Society After Prison by Jeffrey Ian Ross, Ph.D., and Stephen Richards, Ph.D., read by Robert G. Slade.
Foreword. I am honored that the authors have asked me to write this foreword to their latest book. I remember when Jeffrey Ian Ross and Stephen Richards co-authored their second book together, Convict Criminology. When it came out in 2003, I was so impressed with the book that I asked them for copies I could distribute to Congress and directors of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Convict Criminology was about ex-convicts becoming criminology professors. In 2002, Ross and Richards' Behind Bars, Surviving Prison was published. That book immediately became one of the most popular books available on going to and surviving jail and prison. Now they follow up with a companion book for ex-convicts returning to the community. Both books follow Joe and Jill Convict as they struggle to learn from their mistakes and turn misfortune into a better future. Beyond Bars, Rejoining Society After Prison, also comes out of prison. One of the co-authors spent time in 9 different federal prisons. The other author worked in a correctional institution for close to 4 years. This book traces the steps of Joe the Everyman and Jill the Everywoman as they exit prison to re-enter society. For the past 36 years, my wife Pauline and I have been the co-directors of Citizens United for the Rehabilitation of Errants, CURE, an international organization dedicated to the reduction of crime through the reform of the criminal justice system, especially prison reform. We believe that a person is sent to prison as punishment, not for punishment. Once they get to prison, they should not be beaten or abused. The goals of CURE are these. 1. Prison should be used only for persons who absolutely must be incarcerated. And 2. Prisoners should be given all the necessary resources they need to change their lives. There are CURE chapters in most U.S. states and several countries. CURE now has more than 20,000 members worldwide. Membership includes prisoners, their families, correctional workers, and activists in the community. When Pauline and I began our grassroots organization in Texas in 1972, it was not uncommon for prison staff to say to people being released, "See you later." When we expanded to become a national organization in 1985 and moved our headquarters to Washington, D.C., we discovered that this anti-correctional attitude permeated most prison systems, even though it was not as in-your-face as in Texas. The Federal Bureau of Prisons and state prisons have pre-release and re-entry programs. In the past, they used to give a few dollars of gate money to prisoners so they could buy lunch on the way home. If an inmate was lucky, they might even be given a bus ticket home and free world clothes to wear instead of their prison jumpsuit. Pauline tells the story of once taking a bus from a correctional facility and sitting next to an ex-convict who had just been released and had already bought a bottle with the few dollars he received. The re-entry movement is long overdue. In fact, if you review the Prisoner movies from the James Cagney gangster films to Shawshank Redemption, you will see the crucial need for providing help to released prisoners. For years, common sense dictated that this was a problem. However, we didn't have the political will to begin to address the solution that we now call re-entry. When Jeremy Travis, then with the Urban Institute, released a report at a news conference in 2004, it was the first time I had ever heard the word re-entry being used in relation to people released from prison. In fact, someone suggested changing the word because it connotes returning from outer space. But then, everyone present seemed to realize that this is exactly what people coming out of prison and back to the community were experiencing. Next,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?